I trust this will suffice.
God smiles upon the generous.
Oh, away with you! Back to your cesspit, beggar! A land grotesque as its people. You dreamt of utopia. You saw the tribes united as one.
Oh.
That dream died long ago. You should have done the same. Your kingdom will perish alongside you. By my hand.
I cannot fathom it. His Majesty killed in his own bed.
The blooms upon the prince's grave had yet to wilt. Without an heir to wear the crown, what will become of the royal magic?
Thus vulnerable, an invasion might undo us.
From within or without, the state hangs on a precipice. It may even come to civil war.
In dark times, we must stand together.
Your Eminence!
Who could do this?
Few could even enter the king's chambers, let alone draw close. And yet,
His Majesty's arcane power could deflect near any blade. With all the royal bloodline's magic, who could harm him at all?
shadows stir in the castle just as they did with the prince. What hellbound soul could end a royal life? Who would dare such atrocity? Huh?
Luis.
A shame to die with no heirs. The prince was taken too soon. And only a king may wield the royal scepter, the very crux of his vaunted bloodline's magic, which made such a fine deterrent to war. One has to ask, them dead, who shall take the throne?
Probably the longest intro we have to our game. Hey everybody, welcome to Metaphor ReFantazio. Actually, I'm just gonna go ReFantazio because the name's a bit of a mouthful. This is probably it's not the newest like the game that's newest from time of release to me let's play it, but I've been enjoying this game so much. So figure, hey, might as well start recording already. Because very quickly became obvious that it's like, oh, I want to do this as my next series, but, you know, I would be a little bit past the boom period, so whatever. Of course, this is an Atlas game. We'll see a lot of similarities at a later point, but I think we should just go on and get started with ReFantazio.
Who's there?
I can feel you watching me from a place beyond my sight. Whoever you are, please tell me, does our world pique your interest? Pardon my curiosity, but would you tell me your name? That is to say, tell me who you really are. The one who meets my eyes across a strange threshold.
So this is, I mean, it's, again, it's not the protagonist. I will be honest, this is a game that I have, at the time, at least for me, starting the recording, I haven't finished the game yet, but I do have, separate, so that, like, by the time we like, I have plenty of time in that, like, I'm not gonna be super weird with everything, but I'm not exactly certain what the point of this is, but we'll figure it out.
A most unusual name, one I've never heard in our world, which suggests to me you might reside in a world beyond ours. It is a curious thing that in your eyes, my entire world is but the dawn of a story yet untold. Or to put it another way, this is a fantasy. But can it truly be dismissed as something so far removed from you? If indeed you wish to cross to our world for a time, I would first ask that you indulge one question. Is fantasy limited to the confines of imagination? Would you call it a powerless creation?
Again, there's some, obviously we'll have our different dialogue options, and honestly, I mean, fantasy's pretty chill.
More than wishful thinking, more than fiction. Something capable of affecting the realities beyond its bounds. This must be what you believe. I confess, my own answer still eludes me. But consider, if fantasy is born from hope, a desire to make the world better than it is, then that hope can be made manifest. Thus does change come, and thus is fantasy forged into a new reality. Perhaps the story about to unfold before you will tell us. I'm thoroughly invested now myself, so let this tale begin.
As for our difficulty, I would assume that Regicide is probably the same as Merciless in Persona 5. We'll see I'll make reference to Persona 5 a number of times, because Atlas just keeps making Shin Megami Tensei. So we'll be on hard.
Looks like we're in the clear. The capital's just through this desert.
Is it true then? The king is dead? Aye, and the guards are more concerned with the funeral than keeping the roads safe. So now the monsters are roaming in broad daylight. No soldiers to stop them.
Monsters, huh? I've certainly been hearing the stories.
To say nothing of the vacant throne. There's a storm coming, mark my words. That much is certain.
What's the problem?
They're bandits!
Come on, let's see some respect for the militia! Us folk, we're commoners. No crown or church will save us.
But Lord Luis will save us one and all. All we ask is little tribute. You're with us or against us? And if you're against us...
An igniter? How'd they get rid of those?
Come on, hey, keep it moving up. Next one. Huh? Look at you. What have we got here? He's an elder. So he is. No horns, no knife ears. Filthy gremlin like you. What you got in the capital? Oh, what's this? Looks like you've been holding out on us, boy. Hold it! Should have listened to us, chum. Now fall in line! Unless you want to get stuck like us.
You drew steel. I take it you are prepared to die by it.
Stand aside!
Ugh, this place already feels like a death trap. You hear all that stuff about Lord Louis saving us? Hey, you okay? You still got all your limbs attached? Well, at least they didn't figure out our mission. Definitely could have gone worse.
Are you alright?
Been worse. And from the sounds of it, you're about the same. You do know that if anyone finds out who we really are, it's all over, right? The mission's more important than either of our lives. If we screw this up, there's no going back. Think we'll make it?
You don't look hurt, though, so that's good news. We can move, right? I think we should find a place where we can see the whole area. And so, yeah, we get into the gameplay. We get a nice... I just keep going straight. We're looking for somewhere high up with a good view.
Stop!
Find something close. Don't move.
Watch out!
That looks especially dangerous, so watch out. I don't think they've noticed us yet, though.
Okay.
So, lots of stuff that we can go for. Just forward names and head for high ground. Just follow that cliff on your right. So, of course, we do have some nice overworld, movement. We have a nice little dodge roll. We can left click to activate basically your third eye from Persona 5. Again, I'm going to make a lot of references to Persona 5 because that's been something that's already on the channel. Yeah. We'll get a little bit more into why you would want to do stuff, like why you have all this at a later point, but, you know, for now, we'll just follow Gallica's advice and run the hell away.
Look! Just checking, but you do remember what we're here to do, right?
Right. What am I doing again?
Oh, I don't know. The mission that's more important than our own lives? First, we get to the royal capital and get you enlisted as a guardsman at the army's recruitment center. This could decide the fate of the whole country. We either do our jobs or we die. And if it's all the same to you, I'd rather stay alive. So we've got to see this mission through. Come on. We don't want the sun to go down on us in the wastes. Let's pull ourselves together and get back on the road. You know what they say. Anxiety breeds the world's cruelest monsters. I mean, fairies say that at least. I can at least cast my usual spell for you. It's the small comforts, right?
Right.
So music's playing directly in my mind. The effect of Gallic's magic is...
Music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier. Look!
Hey, look!
Over there!
That's a road, isn't it? What a relief. Grand Trad is already in sight.
Let's go.
Almost there. Let's keep moving and try to stay out of sight. It's Grand Cathedral over there. It's big enough to use as a landmark. Yes, the giant Dorito in the sky. Oh, that's not in the sky. It's pretty far away from the sky, actually. Every so often you'll be able to see these nice little blue shinies on the ground. They'll also show up on your mini-map. Of course, the mini-map on the bottom left. The little diamonds there are telling you that, hey, there be enemy here. Meanwhile...
Really shouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, this is bad.
Not good! Run for it!
This land of 8 tribes and 3 nations, all blessed by the power of magic. The United Kingdom of Ukronia. The year is 785. Ukronia is shaken to the core by the sudden death of its king. Anxiety breeds dissent among the tribes. Disparities tear them apart, and no mortal mind remembers the heroic tales upon which their land was built. By this story of fantasy, may this faded world be painted anew.
Whoa, just look!
Whoa.
Get on with it, then! Drop the dog! Hang him dead! Please! I've done nothing wrong! Lying dog! Don't try to deny it! You trample the law for the fun of it!
Let it be known, for misuse of an igniter, you will hang by the neck until dead!
Yeah!
There's no way that crowd was going to listen to anything a Paribus said.
Such a shame. Might you spare some coin? Bless you. Oh,
careful!
Hurry!
Don't you have any street smarts? Come on, kid! Look, we're not tourists here. We gotta stay focused.
Right.
You noticed back on the wagon? You might be the only elder here, in the whole city even. The capital's incredible. Just look at all the different tribes. You never see this kind of diversity out in the countryside. Not that it's very balanced. I see more Plamars and Roussants than anyone else. Which means a dopey Elder kid's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Try to keep your head down, okay?
Hey, did you hear what they're saying about His Majesty? They say it wasn't illness at all. I heard it was foul play, assassination.
Shh, careful who hears you say that.
But it's just like the prince, isn't it? They say he was attacked in the dead of night. A war of succession is coming, I tell you.
Sounds like monsters have been prowling the countryside. They're sending the guard out to deal with them. The army's really gone to hell. It's a far cry from when we had Count Luis at the helm, I'll tell you that much.
Hard to see how the nation can come back from this.
We'd not have to ask if the prince was still alive.
The king dead, his son stricken. Are there none left to bear the weight of the crown?
We've done all in our power, but not even the kingdom's best. The saint could purify this affliction.
Over 10 years he has languished under this curse. How much longer can his body hold out? No doubt his highness would protest. But since he cannot, we have no choice. For the man who cursed His Highness and murdered our king, there can be no mercy. I never thought I would have to ask this of you. But there are so few of us left now. There is no one else to turn to. Will you infiltrate the military to deliver a message to our contact there? This is your mission. For all our sakes, you cannot fail.
Hey, you listening? Well, I guess I can't blame you for feeling nostalgic. You and the prince were pretty close. Anyway, getting to the capital was only the beginning. Now comes the real high-stakes part. You gotta go get enlisted, so you can meet up with our operative. Remember, nobody here knows who we are. Nobody here knows the prince might still have a claim to the throne. That means if we get busted, that's it. Nobody's gonna save us. Step 1. Let's figure out where the recruitment center is. Shouldn't be too hard, considering the need for soldiers. So?
You know where we're going? Feel free to admit that you're lost and ask me for advice. You can open the map, and we can also always just go and talk to Gallica. Or, you know, just talk to her right away. Time for detours right now. If you lost, check your map. Just go straight down the main street and you should find the recruitment center. So, now, time-wise, I could very well end the episode right now, but for the first episode of a JRPG, you can kind of make concessions and have things be a little bit longer than normal. So let's go and chat around. Well, you walked all the way. Can't tell you in some trouble, eh? Oh, no, probably kicked in the carriage, will you? My sympathies has been early for you. I suppose. I love the fact that this game, like, right away, this game does not hold back. This world sucks. Hella racist. And we'll get more into a lot of the stuff kind of later, but
what is there to do now?
There was no order in animal. Trace of something crawling a bay after all. So many rumors concerning monsters in the wasteland. Oh, it's all you hear about these days. True. We're all read about them in Julian's book. It claims there aren't any near the royal capital yet.
Stop!
I'll ask you to step away from the accumulator. That goes still for of your tribe.
Well, what the hell's an accumulator?
Looks like you don't know anything. I'll pathetic. We have no business here to be gone. Get in the way of my work.
Basically just like slurping up all the ether. If we're gonna use Xenoblade terminology. And I suppose like a lot of games use like ether as a terminology.
Come on, Fish.
It's an elder! What's what you're calling grand trade?
I don't need being here.
It's obvious. The truth made it clear. The elder with devilish marks that falls the teacher to sanctism.
That much magic, she says. You're so magical, I doubt you'd have so hard in life. Sound pretty mythological scene. Again, this world fucking sucks. Again, as they basically said, there is 8 different races in the world. I'm going to be tempted to call them humans so much, but technically they're not. It gets more confusing later on. We can just go over kind of them as we see them. Okay. Again, I'm still fully catching up, but I believe I have most of them down. So, basically their elves is the ReFantazio. You can also always check by just going into here. The ReFantazio are basically just elves. I'm pretty sure that's really... Well, okay, you can always check. They do some very nice world building. Elves are the ReFantazio are pretty normal. ReFantazio and Clamar are the 2 most normal ones. So these Nothian folk are ReFantazio, and these people with horns are Clamar. Those are the 2 most common that you'll end up seeing. I believe that these really pale guys, as well as I think you, with the fancy clothes, I believe, well, these 2 I know for sure are Rogue. Rogue are very much longer lived. Their whole thing is, like, respect your elders. They have a very big focus on There's some seniority, I guess. There's some other word for it that is more specific. I'm not sure what. Any type of kimono mimi are Parapus. Parapus are... people are super racist against Parapus. No one likes them, and it's a shame. Let's see, what else do we got? And I believe that these are rogue. I'm like 12% sure, not 12. I'm pretty sure that they're rogue. Let me double check. 'Cause again, I'm really just making sure. Yes, they are rogue. Now I always forget what. Hold up, we saw a couple of them before. These nobles. I forget what their race is called. Just because. Yeah. Ishkia. Ishkia, they're mainly noticed for their wings. What else? I think those are the main ones that we'll end up seeing. Our main character is an Elda. Elda are notable by the fact that they're completely unremarkable. They're just normal people. They don't have any, well, normal people for us in this other world. They're pretty normal. And then there's another type that we haven't seen yet. The Mastari.
Look over there, you can see the War Palace. That's not what? Where the Grand Cathedral is.
I assume so, since it's off the main street.
Seems to be that sanctism's really privileged thing around here, even more so than monarchy.
No. Yeah, it's hella big.
So you?
An elder? Pretty unusual in these parts. I'll try to be religious among yourself. The city ain't friendly to us inferiors.
I appreciate the advice.
Careful, let me get you too. It's like all us Parapus.
I wonder if she'll be important. Similarly... Hold up. Where was she? You. I wonder if she'll be important. No, she doesn't apparently want to talk to us right now.
Look at that. The new model's out now. I could be out there slinging spells like a master if I had one of those.
I guess that's the big city for you. Everyone and their mother has a magic igniter. So many different types, too.
What's a magic igniter?
See? There's a couple in the window. Like an instrument plays a tune, an igniter casts magic. Pretty hard to come by out in the countryside. Can't imagine what it's like having to wave around some shiny stick to use magic. Me? I can whip out magic anytime I like. And I can even see the Magla in the air. Though, I'm not exactly an archmage.
Wonders never cease. A fairy and an elden child. Are you new to our fair city? Well, I suggest you keep a low profile. Trust me when I say you don't want to catch the eyes of the lords and ladies. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I run this humble shop. Are you in the market for an igniter? Here's something that might catch a foreigner's eye. This is modeled after the royal scepter and would make the perfect souvenir.
The royal scepter?
You've really never heard of it. Wow. Where do I even start?
A symbol and instrument of the crown's sovereignty. Passed down through generations. If you believe the legends, it houses incredible magic. World-shattering power. More practically, you might call it the world's most potent magic igniter. And in the king's hands, it was enough of a deterrent to stave off invasion.
Now he's dead, with no living heir either.
Tragic, isn't it? Kingly magic is of little use without a king. You picked a bad time to visit, boy. I don't know why you're here, but there's trouble brewing.
I'll keep that in mind.
A word of caution, then. Your survival is your own responsibility.
Well, that was unnecessarily ominous. She has a point, though. We'll need to be careful. Anyway, we don't have time to hang around chatting with the locals. We've got a recruitment office to find.
Let's head there.
Every so often you'll see the update to the memorandum. That should, again, memorandum is basically your codex. It's nice to have as a little thing. I still want to see if we can find any Mistari. Again, Mistari are also very rare. I believe, at least again, as far as I have played so far of the game, which is I'm about 30 hours in right now. I have plenty of time where I'll be able to like advance ahead with the story just on my own. So that's kind of my plan there. Oh no, I have to play the game twice. Oh no, what a shame. But I believe we're the only Elda. Parapus are really common, but I fucking hate them in this world. And then Mistari are pretty rare, and Ishki are pretty rare. I was hoping we'd blend in with the crowd and no one would notice you're an Elda, but you're really sharper eyes than I thought. We don't want to draw attention, but hiding your tribe is only going to make it worse. People may insult you, but do your best to stand tall. You've said than done, I'm sure, but it's for the sake of the mission. Now, that recruitment center we're looking for should be just ahead. Yeah, and just the fact that this world is so racist is like amusing sounds wrong for it, but you know, recruitment center. You want all this is something? Just down the road if that's the case. An Elder enlisted, bloody hell, what'll be next? I'll be in such a sorry state if Luis was in power. The mouth on this guy. I'm focused on saving the mission, gotta give him a piece of my mind. Let's just grandbear it. Then we'll be running on in later. Here we go, Mistari. Young man, what are you studio shops worth? There's no order in the street shop. Oh, well, we're actually in the middle of something. We've got to do something at the recruitment center. Recruitment center? You're lost in the large building on the street to the left. Stop by when you have time. I do business here all the time, so if you're in the area, do stop by. Mistari will mostly see with their weird little boxes on their head. Their main thing is that they actually have 3 eyes. I think, if I recall reading from the codex, I think the 3rd eye is vestigial. I don't know, man. But they have 3 eyes, and because people really, really hate that, they usually tend to hide it away with those sort of masks. Now, I'm curious about is... I actually didn't know that the pink-haired Parapus was actually someone we could find. I mean, this kind of... That was something I missed on my playthrough before. So I'm curious if we can find anyone... Jesus Christ, you're tall. What I'm curious about is if we can find anyone else that is an actual character. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it looks like it's just the Parapus. That's fairly missable. Doesn't matter if you talk to her or not.
That must be the recruitment center. I'll let you take it from here. It should be pretty straightforward. Oh, and if they start asking questions, just be as honest as you can. Lying will only make us more suspicious. So long as you don't compromise the mission, you're fine. Good luck in there. Knock 'em dead. Okay, you got this.
A blue blood, are you? The army's no place for velvet-swaddled lordlings. Why are you here? Perhaps your noble family collapsed under its own weight. Is that it?
Lineage seems a strange measure for a soldier's worth. I'm looking to enlist. Is that enough for you or not?
An uppity one, aren't you? Fine, lordling. Welcome to the Guard, where it'll be your privilege to die screaming and bloody in service of your country. But mark my words, war will turn your arrogance to piss. When your corpse is plucked from the mud, do try to look patriotic.
Rousing words, Captain. You think threats will buy loyalty? No wonder nobody respects the Guard anymore. But I'm here now, so perhaps the kingdom isn't a lost cause.
Insolent pup! You will learn your place.
Don't. The healers have enough on their plates already.
Be gone, and be thankful you're still in one piece. All right, next. Hurry it up. An elder? I thought your kind was long gone. Age 18. An orphan, too. The army can always use more of those. So, what brings you to enlist?
I need the money.
Pragmatic, if nothing else. But I suppose a vagrant like you could use the work. So, what can you bring to our beloved corps? Any skills to speak of?
Now, these all do match different stats. I actually don't know if these give you any buff. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, so these do actually make a small effect. The first one will increase your strength by 2, but decrease your magic by 2. While I've got a sharp mind, we'll flip those around. Take a lot of punishment is +2 agility, or +2 endurance, -2 agility, flipped around. While I've always been lucky is +4 luck, and -1 to every, to the other stats. Actually can be kind of significant. Me personally, I really like having our main character as a mage. It'll be a little bit till we get access to magic for the most part. But it's like a lot of the other characters that we end up getting don't really fit the mage vibe. So it's nice having that as an option.
I've got a sharp mind.
Yes, you and every unschooled troglodyte. Right, last order of business. Make your mark or sign your name if you're actually literate.
As with basically every game, there is a canon name. It's very simple. It's just Will.
You know your letters, do you? We'll get some use out of you yet. All right, lad. Welcome to the Guard.
Yes!
I'm sure you heard about the monster sightings, so stay sharp out there. We're short-handed as it is, so be a good lad and try not to get killed on your first deployment. You can pick up your kit at reception. Standard issue guardsman armor and igniter. Kingdom property. So if you break it, it's coming out of your commission. On your way now. Up to. Next.
What a long line. So no choice but to wait our turn.
Whatever.
You're so young, you're listed too. We're not all sure you don't have money or a job. Really makes the world go round as well. Not much, not join the queue. Cotton's only gonna get chewed out.
What's the world coming?
Blasted, I came to this because I only make a quick review. But they really make you work alongside creepy elder? That therapist I could deal with, but Elder right ominous. God's own scripture, that's where. Guess you can't expect an elder to know shite.
See what he wants. Letting someone like him would just be a waste of energy.
They say trying doesn't matter in the army, but they'll probably put me up front as a meat shield.
Well, I can find better work.
I wish I could serve Count Luis. His army's built on merit, so even a platypus could stand a chance.
Heard a lot about Luis, but we'll move on. You know this thing as well. It starts behind me. If so, or was there something else you needed?
Really noble.
I take it you overheard my interview. Yes, guilty as charged. I am a noble, but just a countryside son of a lord. My family's of no real consequence. Just I have my own circumstances, and volunteered to fight in order to protect the kingdom. Foolish or not. Well, You can join the queue. Yeah, it's British because they enjoy their queues.
I heard they get sightings.
What? Of those huge monsters? You think that's why we're low on soldiers? Wish they'd have told us that. What do they call them? Something like,
Next! Another Clamar. Wait. No. You don't look like the others. Surely not. An elder? It's the first of your kind I've seen.
Move it. There's a priority around here. We're arming squires and children with igniters now. Waste of good gear. It's better off in my hands. Give it here.
brute force and crude insults. The world is yours for the taking.
Care to say that again, boy?
We all have our reasons to enlist. Now get back in line.
Oh, another high and mighty Clamar, is it? You think your pretty words will measure up to pure Rousseau strength?
Oh, forget the tribes. This is a matter of pride. Now, you owe us both an apology.
Come on, no fighting in the ranks.
Sorry for making a scene. You all right?
Thanks. You didn't have to do that.
Just felt like stepping in. Don't worry about it. Well, see you around. Try not to die out there.
Don't make my job any harder, please. Here, your igniter. These days, most come with their own magna crystals. So with practice, anyone can use magic. To an extent, anyway. It's not the sort of thing you can master in a day. For now, newbies like you best focus on surviving.
There is apparently a magic igniter. Captain I spoke with earlier had one too. It must take on many different forms like I saw on the main street.
And take this too. Protect it with your life.
Wow, that's a real map. It's dangerous to even chart the wilds, but this is full of details. Only the military could pull this together.
Listen up, striplings. My name is Captain Klinger. And as of this moment, you miserable lot are under my command. I'm sure you've all heard about our forces being tied up with the funeral proceedings for His Majesty. But if you think you're on cushy security detail, think again. First, you will be deployed to a fortress at the northern border, where you will be trained into true guards. Our veterans there will teach you the one thing you need to master if you're to survive. Pain.
Perfect. That's exactly where our contacts hold up.
Enjoy tonight's sleep, because it's the last full night's rest you'll get. Dismissed!
Look at all the other recruits. They really are desperate for new blood. Oh, right. I know you don't know what our contact looks like yet, but he'll know you by your sword. He'll also know right away why we've come. And don't worry, I'll recognize him. Well, the charming captain is probably right. We should get some rest before tomorrow. Hey. You awake?
Nope, I'm asleep. Good night.
Haha, very funny. Look, I just have a lot on my mind. Can't seem to fall asleep. I'd heard about what it was like in the capital, but still. When you hear and see all this prejudice out in the open, it's a lot. You okay?
It never gets easier.
Yeah, I could tell. Try to put it behind you, okay? Some people are even saying it's the lesser tribe's fault that the monsters are showing up at all. These are the same kind of people who burned down your village, remember?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but still, the prince was kind to take you in. He cared more about who you were than what you were. I can see why you'd want to repay him. Oh, speaking of, he's the one who gave you that book, right? Can I see it?
Sure, I guess.
I gotta say, I've been curious. Thanks. It's what you call a fantasy story, right? So it's a fantasy world made up by the author. The prince loved those kinds of stories. Okay, let's see. It says the young traveler was amazed by the world he saw. In this world, there is only one tribe. All people accept each other, and no soul is born into discrimination. Wow. So not even any fairies? I guess less differences means less to argue over. In such a world, there is no need for sorcery. A megapolis is built through learning and labor. Towers of glass that reach the heavens. Safe nights with no dark shadows. Busy streets well traveled. And in the laws of these emotionally satisfied people, it reads, all lives are equal. Whoa. You see, no magic, no tribal conflict, and equality for all? It really does sound like a fantasy. But it's strange to feel envious of a fictional world.
Hey, are you asleep already? You know how hard it is for me to turn these pages on my own?
Well, guess I'll just read more later. Good night.